I just titled it things that I have learned thanks to my injury. And I ended up coming up with over 30 lessons, and I could probably add to it now, even more so. But these were lessons that my mentors had shown me. Some of these have actually became, for those of you who are longtime friends of the podcast, these became sticky note quotes. Things like the concept of catching up is a dangerous mirage, because for me, what I felt that I needed to do is catch up to my peers in the ability level that they had as trumpet players and as jazz musicians. And that led me to not listen to my body, to not listen to the needs that I had. And then that led to my injury, right? Listening to your body is far more important than listening to others, because sometimes that pressure, the pressure from others, becomes more important than the needs of our own body. What's interesting is that I was able to come up with so many while I was kind of in a negative headspace. And I'm sure that if I were to sit down and do that now, that I would be able to come up with way, way, way more things. But doing this actually helped me get out of that negative headspace. It helped me to see my injury as something that was working for me and not against me. It helped me see everything that I had learned because of it were just blessings from and my beliefs from my Heavenly Father, that He was giving me to become the man that He wanted me to become, or He wants me to become. So I write to be continued at the bottom of this list. But then I also was like, you know what? I need to share this with people through whatever means. So I started brainstorming ways that I could share these lessons, because have become such important lessons for me that I've applied in my life. And so I thought of like writing a book or doing just social media posts and videos. And if anybody knows me, I'm not a huge social media guy. So doing this podcast has actually been a huge stretch of my comfort zone. Another medium was making YouTube videos, which I guess I do now. But then at the end, I write podcast ? And I remember looking back on, I remember writing that down. I'm like, there's no way. What? Like, I'm not a social media guy. I don't even post about I think of all the concerts that I performed before I got hurt, I may have posted about one of them, or maybe two of them. I don't know, maybe three. I've done dozens and dozens of concerts, and, could probably count on one hand how many I've actually promoted on my pages. And then live events, I'm not really big on that either. But it just makes me laugh looking back at this almost a year later, how I put podcast as a question mark and just thought, that's way too much work. I don't want to do that. Plus, I'm just, at the time I was 23, I'm just 23 years old. There's no way that people would listen to me. These limiting beliefs held me back for a little bit. And what's interesting is that I've never felt more free and more liberated and just feeling personally empowered since doing this podcast, because I have felt that this is just a calling that I've been given, and we're still in the early stages of it. I'm not going to pretend that it's, I'm a super well-known podcaster at this point, but I know what I'm doing is what I need to be doing right now. And that all started from me just making a list of the lessons that I've learned from my injury. And so for all of you guys who are out there who are going through injury recovery, I just, first of all, invite you to make a list of those lessons. And second of all, find out a way to share them, whether it's through just journaling, whether it's through starting your own thing on social media, whatever it is. Because something that I've learned, one of the lessons that I learned that I think is in that list, is that you are the most qualified to help the person that you used to be. And that actually comes from Ed Milet again. That's one of his adages. But I wanted to share that with you because of how much of a blessing this podcast has become. And it came from a hotel room in which I was pretty depressed. Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode of Trust the Process, the official podcast of Musician Unchained, the newest coaching program dedicated to helping musicians navigate and overcome injury. But before you go, I have a few quick ways you can stay connected and support our growing community. First of all, I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me a text with the link below and share your thoughts, questions, or just say hi. You can also check the show out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We also would love to see you in our Facebook support group, Trust the Process Podcast Injured Musician Support Group. If you found value in today's episode, consider making a donation to support our mission of empowering musicians worldwide. Every contribution helps us create more content and resources for you. So visit link number 2 below to support the mission. If you decide to donate, I'll send you my newest resource, the Injured Musician Toolkit, which is an ebook designed to give you tools to help you get through your injury. Subscribe to our newsletter to get exclusive insights, tips, sneak previews of episodes, and announcements straight to your inbox. Act now and I will send you a free gift. So sign up at www.musicianunchained.com/newsletter. And if you or someone you know would like to go deeper with me in the topics of injury and mindset, head over back to musicianunchained.com and check out the Let's Hang tab. As always, I want to thank Daniel Baldwin, my audio engineer, and my sister Dana Lovell for her help with the promotional materials. There is no podcast without them. But before I go, I want to tell you how much I deeply appreciate your time and support. You are not alone on this journey. There are musicians and educators out there who need this resource, and we need to get it to them. Together, we are breaking the chain of old habits and thought patterns that don't serve us anymore, and unchaining the potential within ourselves to face each challenge with strength and resilience. So, as I always say, keep on keeping on, and keep trusting the process. Until next time.